Okay, Chapter 7. Very last chapter of the game. And a little frustrating for the first half. Tons of fun for the second half. The game introduces a brand new mechanic for the last 5 minutes of the game. Whoever thought that was a good idea. This chapter is a little bit unique in that for most of the first half, you are moving to the left instead of the right. Because they thought after an hour of gameplay, they'd just throw that curveball at you. These swings are pretty straightforward, but can be a little deceptively difficult. You need to time them pretty well. Try to land on one of these two here. You can jump over this one and straight onto the rock. If you land just a little bit in front of the rock, that's okay. You can still jump onto it. As a general rule, you do not want to land in the water there. It can be very difficult to get out of the water, and there are cigarettes that will come for you. Then it's just straight bunny hops into whatever this place is. I do not know why this screen exists. It serves no purpose.
It looks pretty.
All right, here we come to our first puzzle of Chapter 7. This one's a real pain in the neck. There's no real good skip for it, however. One Yarny wants to jump down, get up over that. Other Yarny's going to climb up on top. Get up here, wait until that is about there-ish. Then jump onto this. That will lower. You can swing back up onto this. Wait again. And once you feel it's at a good height, you can hold L to climb up on top. And then jump over to the next level. As you're jumping over, the other Yarny will zoop to you. This is a pretty dangerous tangle spot. Generally, what I like to do is when I land after the zoop, I kind of do a little bit of a jump back to the right. That usually will ensure I do not get tangled. And now we can move on. Here's another thing where you're in control of your Yarny before you can actually see it. You want to make sure you jump onto this lever. You can do that pretty quickly. Swing across here. And this is a fun little puzzle. One Yarny's going to want to wait behind, holding onto that. Push this cog over. Jump up onto this. Push this cog over while the other Yarny comes to help you out. And then you both just make your way back down. Do not get squished by this. If you get squished, you have to do that entire puzzle again. And it stinks. Here's another zoop. Careful not to get tangled. Alright. We'll demonstrate the intended method for this puzzle first. But there is a pretty nice skip for it. One thing that can be a little bit frustrating about doing this the intended way is that you have a limited amount of yarn, and this really stretches the limits of that yarn. Alright. Now, the fast way. When you land here, you want to go ahead and merge together. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a liar. You're not going to merge together. You're going to do a zoop cancel.
I think it ended. Will you restart the checkpoint? I don't think that's where it is normally.
We might have those little weights a little bit off. The idea there being you can get a zoop boost that'll get you enough height to simply wall jump onto that. Then...
Oh. I have to go down and do this thing.
No, you don't.
Oh. Sorry, this one's new at the time of filming.
Oh, bother. There we go. I think we just got tangled.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we did. Okay. Now, one Yarny's going to stay up here. The other Yarny is going to swing down, get a nice long rope, and swing all the way across to this section. Push the cog, and then you can either climb or zoop up. much faster, assuming you do it well and not like we just did. Here's a fun little skip. You can do this the intended way. We won't bother demonstrating it because it kind of takes a while. Instead, we do yet another Zoop boost. One Yarny's going to jump up on here. The other Yarny activates that. There's a couple of things you can do here. You can either climb up onto this and then Zoop, or you can opt not to Zoop and simply pull up using L. The idea being, if you don't Zoop, the thought is you lower the risk of this next checkpoint not triggering correctly. There's a theory that occasionally, well, we'll see if it happens. It did not. Okay. Occasionally you will have to do that lever pull twice, and you have to restart the checkpoint in order for it to work the second time. The theory is that that is caused because of a Zoop leading up to it.
And now we can double jump.
This is the rapids. This is the last section of the game. It introduces a double jump. We'll also see some pretty cool floating ribbons that you can swing on. This can be a little bit difficult, particularly if you do not know what's coming. Once you've learned the rapids, though, you should be able to get through them without too much trouble. Make strategic use of your double jumps to avoid the cigarettes lurking in the water. If you are running this with two separate Yarnies, Zoop to your partner frequently, but be careful of tangles. Tangles are frequent in this section. Alright, here's a little bit of a dangerous spot. Starting here, the next 5 screens do not have a checkpoint.
From here until the waterfall.
From here until the waterfall. And there are many, many cigarettes. So, the best thing you can do in this section is not die, or it will back you all the way up. Uh-oh. It'll back you all the way up, well, let's to where we just pointed out to you. One cool thing you can do on these ribbons, if you mash R2 or RT, you can get a lot of speed built up. Like a lot of speed. It's also a little bit dangerous, though, because if you don't time the R2 or RT button press well, you can end up falling and dying. And there's our checkpoint, once we get over that waterfall. Here's another little waterfall. If you'll notice in the background, our 2 favorite kids are currently throwing somebody into the water.
There's a fire at the bottom of that rock, so watch out for that one.
You'll notice that even though we are running this separately, I'm probably not zooping quite as frequently as I ordinarily would. This section of the game has a real tendency to tangle you. So unless I know I have a 100% clear zoop, I usually don't bother. This is a little bit of a tricky section. You want to make sure you wall jump onto that.
You have to land on that little stick, or you don't ever quite have enough momentum.
The best strategy for the rapids really is just to learn them well. Figure out the best path for you to take, and then follow that path consistently. There's lots of little dangers, and frustration points, but once you get a good hang of it, it goes pretty smoothly. Best thing you can do, as per usual, is not die. Another fire you want to be careful of. Just a few back and forth jumps there. So in case you didn't get the idea, your double jump... Oh, we got lucky there to avoid the tangle. In case you didn't get the idea, your double jump resets anytime you land on something or touch a surface. So if you're doing a wall jump, for example, I can just mash jump here and essentially go in a straight vertical line, because every time I touch that tree I get my double jump back. It's kind of nice. Getting very close to the end now. Just one screen left. Time will stop as soon as you make it beyond that gate time. There you go. And it's just one yarnie. As soon as one yarnie is through, the game is over. Now it's just a fun little cutscene to the end, some of which you can mash through. You don't have to, though, since time has already been called. And congratulations, you've beaten Unravel 2.